September 1562, the 41st year of the Qi Jiguang Emperor's reign. China's southeastern coast was in flames. The Wokou pirates, a ruthless force of Japanese ronin, seafaring outlaws, and local bandits, had launched one of the fiercest invasions in history. For years, they ravaged Fujian's shores, plundering towns and villages, leaving nothing but smoke and ruin. The Ming Dynasty, plagued by corruption and weakened defenses, could do little to stop them. But from this chaos, one man rose above all others, General Qi Jiguang. With his elite Tree army, he became the final hope for the people of Fujian. This is the story of how Qi Jiguang and his soldiers, facing overwhelming odds, fought with courage and strategy to turn the tide of war. And today, we tell of the Battle of Lin Dun, a clash where one fatal mistake nearly destroyed the Tree army. In this struggle, where every decision meant life or death, could Qi Jiguang's brilliance save his men? Or would victory come at a cost too heavy to bear?
The victory at Hengyu Island marked a great start in Fujian's fight against the Wokou pirates. The Qi army was unstoppable, and after overcoming what seemed to be the most difficult stronghold, it appeared that the rest, Niu Tian and Xinghua, would be easy pickings. However, little did anyone know, behind this victory lay a small mistake that would lead to the greatest loss the Qi army had suffered since its formation. The news of the victory at Hengyu Island spread, bringing joy to the people of Fujian. Officials at the imperial court praised the army's success. According to the pre-battle agreement, the Qi army was set to receive substantial rewards. But just when the time came for the rewards to be distributed, one person grew discontent. This person was Dai Chongxiao, the commander of the Middle Army, who had come to Fujian alongside Qi Jiguang. Dai Chongxiao sneered,
"General Qi may have conquered Hengyu Island, but Dai led the charge as well. Why should he get all the rewards while my 2,000 men receive nothing, even if we lack merit? We surely deserve recognition for our hardships."
Qi Jiguang was displeased, but he had no choice but to swallow his pride. In the end, he gave a portion of the reward meant for his own soldiers to Dai Chongxiao's men. For the greater good, he chose to endure. This sacrifice weighed heavily on him, and his soldiers, though silent, also felt the injustice. That year, on the 15th day of the 8th month, the Mid-Autumn Festival, while they were far from home, the longing for their families was especially strong among the troops. With the reward being reduced, the morale of the army started to falter. Qi Jiguang, seeing this, knew he had to act quickly to restore their spirits. That night, under the full moon, he gathered his soldiers and personally composed a song rallying them together.
United as one, the mountains may tremble. Only loyalty and righteousness can match the strength of a charging bull. Our leader treats us as his own, stronger than even our parents. Break the law of the army, and freedom is lost. The command is clear, reward and punishment follow. March into water and fire, no hesitation. Report to the emperor, save the people. Kill the Wokou and earn our titles.
This was the first military song in Chinese history, the Triumph Song. The sound of the soldiers singing echoed through the night, filling the air with renewed energy. That night, the sea wind carried the song far and wide, and even the moon seemed to shine brighter. With the army's morale restored, Qi Jiguang set his sights on Niu Tian. Niu Tian's stronghold stretched for over 30 miles, with 60 camps and thousands of pirates. Qi Jiguang climbed the hill with Wang Daokun and looked at the enemy's encampment, his face grim.
My heavens, how are we to defeat such an overwhelming force?
Wang Daokun exclaimed in shock. Qi Jiguang smiled calmly.
The key is speed, Wang. Don't worry, you'll see how I plan to defeat them.
That night, Qi Jiguang ordered his commanders Wang Rulong and Zhu Kui to lead 1,000 elite soldiers to raid the Wokou forward camp, Qidian. The night was deep, and the wind howled. Wang Rulong whispered to his men,
"Brothers, tonight we either wipe out these pirates or fall in battle. Are you ready to fight alongside me?"
The soldiers shouted in unison.
Ready to follow the general to the death.
Zhu Kui leaped over the camp's wall, his blade flashing in the moonlight. He drew his sword and cut through the gate lock.
"Brothers, let's kill!"
The gates flew open and Qi Jiguang's men surged in like a tidal wave. The pirates, still asleep, were caught off guard. The cries, fire, and clashing of weapons filled the air. Wang Rulong shouted,
Not a single one escapes.
In just a few minutes, 600 to 700 pirates were killed. Wang Rulong wiped the blood from his face and suddenly grinned.
General Qi said to be ruthless. Let's pile the bodies together.
The flames shot into the sky, and thick smoke filled the air as the entire Kidian camp was set ablaze. The Wokou, enraged by the loss, plotted their revenge. The next night, they sent 700 elite soldiers, quietly making their way toward the Qi army's camp. However, what they didn't know was that Qi Jiguang had already foreseen their move. That afternoon, in his command tent, Qi Jiguang stared at a sand table, his expression cold and focused. He spoke slowly.
We won the battle at Kidian, and the pirates are filled with hatred. Given their nature, they will strike back, using their own methods. Our army's momentum is high, but the pirates are desperate and will try to undermine us. Tonight, they will come to raid our camp.
He pointed to a spot on the map, where the path leading to the camp was narrow and treacherous.
They are too few to fight us head-on. They will sneak through the small roads. This is the perfect place for us to set a trap.
He gave the order.
Wang Rulong, Chen Dacheng. Each take 700 men and lie in wait at the 2 mountain passes. Do not act too soon. Wait until they are fully inside our trap, then we will surround them all at once. If we capture their leader, their morale will crumble.
Wang Rulong laughed heartily.
General Qi's strategy is infallible. If they dare come, we will ensure they have no way back.
Chen Dacheng clasped his hands and said in a solemn tone,
Do not worry, General. I will work with Wang Rulong to eliminate every pirate that comes our way.
As the night grew darker, the moon hid behind clouds and the air was still. The Wokou, like ghosts in the night, crept forward, whispering among themselves.
After their victory, the Tree army must be exhausted. Now is our chance to strike while they are at rest.
What they didn't realize was that this exhaustion was part of Qi Jiguang's plan to lure them in. The Qi army's camp was eerily quiet. The sound of patrols had disappeared, and the campfires were dimmed. Only faint glimmers of light remained. The Wokou, feeling confident, advanced.
Quickly, let's strike and capture General Qi's camp.
One of them whispered. As they entered the narrow path, suddenly the firelights flared up and the sound of horns filled the air. Wang Rulong roared.
Attack!
The hidden soldiers leapt from both sides, their weapons flashing in the night. The clash of steel rang out as the pirates were caught in the trap, surrounded on all sides. Seeing this, the Wokou tried to retreat, but Wang Rulong laughed.
Run, but we will chase you to the ends of the earth.
The Qi army deliberately pursued, driving them back toward the New Tian stronghold. As the pirates retreated into their camp, the gates opened wide, and over 1,000 reinforcements surged out. Just at that moment, the sound of cannons blasted the air, and 6,000 tree soldiers emerged from the flanks like a flood breaking its dam. The battlefield erupted with chaos. Within an hour, the 30-mile encampment and 60 camps collapsed. Thousands of pirates scattered, but they were no match for the overwhelming force of the Qi army. By morning, the smoke had not yet cleared. Qi Jiguang stood and surveyed the battlefield, exhaling deeply.
6,000 men, not a single casualty.
The army erupted in cheers, their spirits lifted. This battle had not only destroyed New Tian, but had also struck fear into the Wokou pirates. However, the joy of victory was short-lived. Qi Jiguang turned his attention to Xinhua, but the pirates there were not as disorganized. Instead, they were made up of seasoned Japanese ronin and warriors, not the usual ragtag band. They retreated to Lin Dun, a strategic location with waterways and narrow paths, hoping to make a stand. When Qi Jiguang arrived in Xinhua, he appeared to rest, even holding a parade for the troops to give the impression of taking a break. But under the cover of night, he secretly moved his forces to attack Lin Dun. He split his forces, sending 1,000 men from the north, while he led the main force from the south, with the local Fujian army blocking the pirates' escape route. However, a fatal mistake occurred. The guide leading the southern force turned out to be a traitor, an informant for the Wokou. He led the army down a narrow path near a small bridge, an area perfect for an ambush. The Wokou had already laid traps, and the bridge was too narrow for the Qi army's usual formations. Qi Jiguang, realizing the mistake, was about to order a retreat, but the guide had already vanished. Worse still, the northern forces had already engaged, and the Wokou began to alert their forces. If they didn't act now, the entire battle could collapse. Qi Jiguang's eyes burned with resolve.
Charge the bridge!
The first wave of 36 men fought bravely but was lost in minutes. The second wave of soldiers suffered the same fate. Now, enraged and unable to hold back, Qi Jiguang himself led the charge, with Wang Rulong, Chen Dacheng, and Zhu Kui following him into the fray.
Soldiers, follow me!
He cried. The bridge became a bloodbath, with the Qi army fighting valiantly. Finally, they broke through and surged into the enemy camp, overwhelming the pirates. By noon, the Wokou were completely destroyed, with 2,023 heads taken. The Qi army had won, but at the cost of the most devastating loss they had ever suffered. 90 men lay dead. The next morning, Qi Jiguang, with his generals, walked to the small bridge where they had fought. He dismounted, knelt, and wept bitterly.
My men, you did not die by enemy hands, but by the betrayal of a traitor. My heart is filled with sorrow and hatred.
All around him, the soldiers wept with him. Qi Jiguang personally composed a eulogy for the fallen and held a memorial for them at Lin Dun. After returning to camp, he fell ill, overcome by the toll of the battle. The Wokou strongholds in Fujian were finally wiped out, but the battle at Lin Dun had left the Qi army severely weakened. Qi Jiguang planned to return to Zhejiang to rest and rebuild his forces. However, an unexpected event soon occurred, one that would almost force him to leave the battlefield forever. Could Qi Jiguang return to Fujian to finish the job?
Thanks for watching. The next episode will blow your mind. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss the epic journey ahead.